Downtown, I got that heat, let's go.
What's up, y'all? What's up? Happy Saturday to everybody. Let's just wait a few minutes while everybody starts to pile in. Hope you guys are having a great afternoon. And I know this is kind of a random podcast, but there's so much stuff I gotta get to, and I'm not gonna have a bunch of time to make 17 videos this week. So I just want to do this quick podcast, cover all those bases, and get you guys caught up in what's going on in the wireless world. So I know it's kind of random, and I usually don't do these on Saturdays, but like I said, a lot to cover, and I want to do it all, in the kind of like the same video and formatting. I see you guys here in the live already coming in. Do me a solid as you're coming in. Do like this podcast, like this video, share it. Maybe you got Instagram, maybe you got Twitter, maybe you got Instagram. On YouTube, maybe you got your own channel, you got a community tab, you want to share it for me, that'd be great. So like this, share this, that helps the channel out tremendously. We'll get things going officially here in a couple of minutes as those, the members of the SMT Nation start to pile in. Sorry about the issue with the first stream. Still getting used to this Streamlabs thing,
Downtown, I got that heat, let's go.
But I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. I think I got it. The issue actually, there were a couple of settings I wanted to make sure I had so I didn't get disrupted during the stream, but it ruined the stream itself, so I had to make a new one. So that's kind of the situation there. But we are good to go. I do see 24 viewers here. Welcome to you all. I do see some of my moderators are here, and then the usual suspects, the SMT Nation. There are some people I want to give special shout-outs to. Obviously, my moderators, the Mod Squad, hashtag Mod Squad if you are a mod. Pete's here. Mr. X is also here. Rafi, the homie, is here. Sean, I see you. Mike, I see you, bro. Appreciate you guys holding it down for me in the Mod Squad. I'd also like to give a special shout out to the newest members of the Patreon page, the SMT Patreon. I formally welcome Dan and Nelson, who just joined last night. So big shout out to them. We are now up to 81 patrons on the SMT Patreon page. So, a growing community of like-minded network tech enthusiasts. Thank you guys for being a part of that community, and it's a growing community that is starting to really pick up some steam and some support. If you would like to become a member, there's several different ways you could do so. There are 4 different tiers We've got a $1, $2, and a $3 tier. And then we have a new one, the Sneed Army tier, which is a $5 tier. Those donations go towards support to provide additional network access, network video access. So if you like what the YouTube channel offers, this gives you more of that, a little bit more in depth, more extended items, different specific types of content, and additional podcasts, additional live streams, early access to YouTube videos, shout outs and things of that nature. So if you like what the channel has to offer, you're looking for additional or more, perks and things like that, that community does allow you to have that access. So big shout out to Lawrence for coming up with the idea of the Sneed Army and then creating that tier. So big shout out to you, sir. There are links to the Patreon page where you can view it, you can see it, and consider joining. I put those in the description box. Also in the description box is the link to the second channel, Sneed Mobile Tech live streams. If you don't like to be bothered by ads, but you want to watch the podcast uninterrupted, you could do so by joining the SMT Nation over there on the Sneed Mobile Tech live streams channel. And don't be bothered by the ads. But the thing is those live streams do go up a little bit later, so they get cataloged and archived, and then you guys can watch them free of ads. We also have the Twitter handle in the description box, @SneedTech. I'm pretty active on Twitter. Also have a Periscope that is joint with the Twitter account, so random live streams and quick little videos and hangouts and things of that nature. If you'd like to become a part of that, do follow me on Twitter and Periscope. And then lastly, the Megadon.net invite code is in the description box as well. The social media platform of the future. Never need another social media platform ever again. No algorithms, no ads, and no tracking. Megadon.net. And that wraps up everything that's there. I actually want to go ahead and get started. I know the stream was originally set for 2. It got delayed because I had to reset it up for 2:10. And then I wanted to give people a chance to kind of get in and settle in and get connected to the live stream. But now that it is 2:16 in the live, big shout out to those watching this in the live, hashtag 2Live crew. And then for those watching this on replay, big shout out to you, hashtag replay crew. Thank you guys for viewing, regardless if it's live or on replay. Much appreciated. I see you, Baby Yoda. I see you, Sebi, Ridge Z, Gene, Info Assistant, Big Dan, James, I see you guys. Sin City, what is going on? See you there hanging out. Josh, I see you, man. Took a break from the internet. Can't blame you, man. Sometimes it be like that, I think I got everybody here now. What's up, Ram? How are you, man? Good to see you, bro. Sin City. All right. So we're ready to get this thing going. Please do hit the like button. Please do share this. Let's get this show on the road. All right, so here I am. Y'all can see me. I'm here. In the live, in the flesh. All right. Hopefully you guys can see the action there. All right, y'all. Welcome to the Sneed Mobile Tech Podcast, the random Saturday edition, a random day in May. What do we got? Tomorrow is what? May 31st, and then we got the start of June right around the corner here. I think Monday is June 1st. Crazy. Time is flying, right? Anyways, for those of you that are looking to get more involved with the community, we've got all types of different extensions. I've got them listed here on the screen. You could check out the Patreon page, the second channel, the Twitter handle, the Megadon.net invite code is there. Maybe this is your first time here. You just kind of like randomly popped in. It got recommended in your feed here on YouTube. The SMT Nation is a collection of individuals that is really amped up about the direction and the evolution of network technology. And if you are into that, then consider becoming a member of the SMT Nation. Hit that subscribe button, activate that bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. I see the homie Scoop is here. I see Gene. Good to see you guys. Glad you could be here watching this in the live. And, of course, if you're on replay, big shout-out to the replay crew. So if you're watching this live, in the live, hashtag 2LiveCrew. Watching it on replay, hashtag replay crew. All right, so here's what we're going to do with today's video. The title is T-Mobile Business Changes, Dish Wireless, Boost Mobile, and Verizon 5G. We're going to talk about these topics today. Each item is going to get somewhere between like 5 and 10 minutes. I don't expect this podcast to be longer than 30, so let's go ahead and get that started now. Okay? In my estimations, the way I kind of see it, just my personal kind of take and spin on things, I get the impression that when John Legere wrapped up his tenure as the CEO of T-Mobile, I figured there would be some changes. I knew it was going to happen because every CEO does things just a little bit differently. It's important to note that Mike Sievert is kind of sort of a protege of John Legere. Believe you me, Mike Sievert is going to adopt and inherit a lot of the same techniques and methodologies that John did. You're still going to see the team approach within the corporational operations of the company. You're still going to see the supportive nature and leadership skills that Mike probably acquired along the way from John. Being that he is a protege, a right hand, an extension of John, a lot of those same things will be the same. The thing is, though, is that there are pressures on Mike that are not going to be the same or probably did not exist before. Jose, I see you, brother. Good to have you on. Mike has a little bit of a more corporate feel to him. He's a little bit more predictable in the corporate way, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. This is obviously the direction that the new T-Mobile wants to go. Deutsche Telekom, the parent company, owning a majority, stake in the company. We expect some changes. I think it's inevitable. Teletech, I understand, but that's not what I'm speaking about. What I'm looking at is the company operations. So I'm not going to be talking about unlimited plans. I'm not going to be talking about features. It's bigger than that. We're talking the business, the corporate side of the company. John tried to eliminate and reduce that as much as possible, make it feel like family, make it feel like, it's a very friendly and supportive corporation. That's the supportive and the friendliness isn't going to change, but there are some very corporate spikes that are starting to kind of poke out of the company that weren't really there and present when John was there. And it's really only been about a month or 2 months, right? The merger was cleared in April, and it's the end of May. So you could argue it's been about 2 months. Things are starting to change. So newest reports out of T-Mobile, and these are being reported on Reddit. I found something in my Google feed on it. It looks like there is some rumblings, and there are T-Mobile employees that are saying that they can verify this. T-Mobile is going to enforce a move to eliminate or reduce or implement pay cuts for certain retail positions starting July 1st. Now, according to my estimations, July 1st is about a month away, right? So it would just be, the start of June on Monday. So 1 month from this Monday, there are going to be some T-Mobile employees in certain retail positions who are going to be losing some money. They're going to be generating less and less revenue. Now, I don't know how much those individuals make right now, but if you are a retail associate manager located in a high volume location for T-Mobile, you will no longer be recognized as high volume management. So what I mean is high volume management would be the retail associate manager position at a store that sells big numbers. Activate a lot of lines, sell a lot of phones, do a lot of business accounts. High traffic area, high traffic store that does really good sales. It's great. I mean, business is good, right? If you're a high volume store, you've got a lot of people coming into your store. They're doing a lot of purchases. They're doing a lot of line additions and things of that nature. Anyways, this quote-unquote pay cut could be valued anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 for these affected individuals. So I don't know if pay cut is really the correct terminology, because if these are bonus or incentive-based monetary accelerators, it looks like they might just be removing those accelerators, right? These incentives. Because what you do in sales is you incentivize your employees to encourage them to be eager to make the sales, right? To add the lines, to push customers to spend more, to generate revenue for the company. Anyways, in 2020, in our current situation, and I say that in quotes, the situation, I'm talking about, the pandemic. Our economy here in the U.S. is fluttering, right? Businesses are very sensitive. Some businesses are going under for good. Some are going to be down for a while and hope to rebound. I mean, there's all types of different scenarios that could play out for our economy. And it looks like T-Mobile's feeling the pressure, and they cited the pandemic and the economy as one of the reasons for this move. Removing the incentives, removing the bonus, or giving these pay cuts to these retail associate managers who normally would be getting bonuses for reaching certain milestones in sales. Now, the pandemic or the economy is one reason that they cited. The second reason, though, and I don't think this is arguable, the second reason is Sprint location retention. There are usually several communities, several regions within a city or a county that operate high volume retail. So there will be 1, 2, possibly 3 T-Mobile stores in a major segment of a city where they serve all the customers, right? So you got T-Mobile stores within a few miles of each other, or within 7 or 8 miles of each other, maybe 10 miles of each other. And then next to those T-Mobiles were also Sprint stores. But according to the merger and the concessions and the deals that were made during that whole thing, T-Mobile agreed to retain the Sprint stores and the Sprint employees. Those same protections for Sprint employees and Sprint management, they're going to be coming at a cost of T-Mobile employees. Now, I've already covered this topic previously, and I know a lot of people like to cite the pandemic and all these other things, but the fact of the matter still remains. If the volume and the sales are not there, then we're going to have store closings, and we're going to have people with, losing their jobs. Now, this announcement in particular extends that a little bit further. No, the retail associate managers are not losing their job. They're not getting fired. They're not getting cut. They're not getting laid off. They're not going to be, losing their positions temporarily or permanently. They are just going to see somewhere in the neighborhood of a loss of about $5,000 to $10,000 annually moving forward. There's no indication of when this will return for them, these bonuses or whatever. There's no indication that they will ever come back or if it's permanent. We don't know any of that. But as of right now, due to the Sprint location retention and the Sprint employee retention, as well as the pandemic and the economy, it looks like those bonuses are going to be eliminated. Should things rebound? Should things change in the future? Who knows? Time will tell. Maybe we start to see these things going back to these people. But as of right now, this sucks. Because there are people who have probably been working for T-Mobile for a long time and have gotten used to a certain quality of life. And they probably have a mortgage. And let's make up a nice round number. A couple with 2 children have a mortgage, let's say it's $1,500 a month, they may not be in a position to be able to afford that mortgage should one of the people in the couple lose $10,000 annually, right? That sucks. Now, they're not losing their job. They're not getting fired. They're not getting cut. But it is going to take some adjustment, and who knows how this affects them in the long term. So it feels like a bonus or an incentive is being eliminated or reduced. But it's definitely a negative thing, one of the negative outcomes of the merger and then the state of the economy. But I think I want to circle this back to the beginning of my monologue where I was citing that the T-Mobile, the new T-Mobile, and I think this is important that we call them this. They're not the same T-Mobile as they were before. They're a different company now. Some of the same principles are there. Some of the same deals and features. That's all there. I get it. But when a company responds in this way, it's just further proof and evidence that they are who we thought they were, which they are a corporation that is in the best interest of their shareholders and their executives generating money. So business is down. The merger deal, in order to make it happen, had some concessions, and this is kind of the residual of that. So like I said, jobs aren't going to be cut in these retail associate managers positions, but they are going to be losing some revenue. They are going to be losing some money, right? Those bonuses will not be there for them. All right, so that's story number one. All right, story number two. This one is coming out of Dish, and I should say Boost. Okay, so Dish's closing date for Boost Mobile was already supposed to happen. It has come and gone. We were supposed to see something in May. That didn't happen. I'm going to directly correlate this to, being connected to the pandemic and whatever else is going on with the situation, right? But it looks like we have got an official pushback date for the closing of the Boost Mobile acquisition by Dish. The original date was set in May. That didn't happen. Then we knew it was going to get pushed back into June, and we were hearing speculation that it was going to be happening in mid-June. Right, so June 15th, June 16th, whatever the case may be. But it looks like it is getting pushed back again. So for those of you that are following along and you're putting it on your schedule, when is Boost Mobile going to be officially purchased by Dish Wireless or Dish Network? That is slated for another 2-week delay. We are expecting the closing of the Boost Mobile deal at the end of June. Business operations wise for Boost, they're going to operate as usual. It's business as usual for Boost. Nothing really changes on the retail side. Nothing's changing from the business operations side. No moves are being made. Everything that's happening behind closed doors and behind the scenes, that'll continue to move forward with postpaid and with Dish Wireless and things of that nature. But as of right now, all Boost employees, all Boost management, all Boost Mobile operations, they're on track to continue to operate as they have been. Nothing is changing for them. So we got Boost Mobile acquisition by Dish getting pushed back to the end of June. Another story coming out of Dish Wireless, and this one a little bit more interesting in my opinion. Nothing personal against Boost Mobile and prepaid, but I'm more of a postpaid guy personally, big network operators kind of guy. I found a story from 4 years ago that was, I guess, a request by Dish Network, DirecTV, and other telecom companies, regional carriers and TV network operators, TV side, satellite TV operators. So the story originates 4 years ago. We're talking 2016. Now, the reason I bring this up now is because Dish Network, formerly only a satellite TV operator, now all of a sudden thrusted into a wireless operator as a national provider. They're going to be pivoting and transitioning into wireless. Their methodology of TV operations has gotten outdated. It's basically had the rug pulled from underneath their feet. Everybody's gone to IPTV. Everybody's gone to streaming applications. Whoever hasn't is still on cable. Satellite TV is really struggling. That's kind of like a dinosaur when it comes to TV. Anyways, this story from 4 years ago was a request from Dish Network, DirecTV, which is now currently owned and operated by AT&T. There's another wrench into the woodworks. Anyways, they put in a request to the FCC to transition and pivot their 12 gigahertz spectrum holdings for future wireless use. So essentially what they're saying is, when it comes time, we want to be able to use our satellite TV spectrum potentially for wireless. Now, Dish has had spectrum for over a decade, and they were destined to use it in wireless. Now it would be the time. So what Dish has done recently is they've gone ahead and they have brought this back to the attention of the FCC, because apparently FCC has not moved on it. They haven't responded to DirecTV. They haven't responded to Dish Network or the other companies that are in this coalition. But it looks like these companies like Dish and DirecTV and others are ready to pivot towards 5G with this 12 gigahertz spectrum. Now, in the wireless application, it makes total sense. That's really high-end, mid-band quality frequency spectrum. High capacity. It's not quite millimeter wave, but it is on the very high end of mid-band with incredible throughput potential. And then to take this one step further, the licenses that Dish and DirecTV have, they essentially cover 75% of the US population. Well, that's a high percentage. So that means that there is a large portion of the country that would have access to this spectrum to use in wireless, or, where I see it fits better, is fixed wireless. We're talking like home and business operations for home and 5G. Now, DirecTV and Dish are going to have to get an agreement from the FCC. They've got to get approval. They've got to get cooperation, right? But I can see a situation where 5G access using this spectrum, possibly in mobility, but I think better in the fixed wireless 5G, right? So I'm talking about, where do I see it most appropriate? Where do I see it working the best? Well, if it's 12 gigahertz and it has propagation issues, right? It's still mid-band, but it's very high frequency. But I could see it where Dish would be selling home internet, and DirecTV and AT&T, technically, more home internet applications, where they could really get some high throughput, because apparently the amount of bandwidth, the amount of spectrum that these companies hold, and I'll speak to Dish on this, while it covers 75% of the US population, it's 500 megahertz of contiguous spectrum. So we're talking millimeter wave type application. That type of throughput, that type of bandwidth, I mean, this could be a really, really effective way of creating fixed 5G for people. I don't know about you guys out there, but I would love another home internet provider option. I would love another competitor for Cox and Charter and Comcast and AT&T, right? I would love to see Dish come into my region and say, look, we've got home internet for you. It's 5G. We can promise you 500 megabits per second for $50 a month. Or even better, we can give you gigabit speed for $60 or $70 a month. Symmetrical, right? Because it's going to be standalone. It's going to be clean 12 gigahertz spectrum. And because it covers 75% of the population, just take a look. There are about 75 people watching this now. Right? Or I'm exaggerating. There's 60-some people watching this now in the live. Well, 3/4 of that, right? So we're talking anywhere between 40 and 50 people in the 60 or 65 people in this live that could be utilizing that service across the nation, getting a new competitor in a market that is starved for competition. I would leave Cox yesterday if I knew this was coming from DirecTV or Dish. A new home 5G, residential 5G accessible internet option. And then, of course, they could use it to bolster their mobility, right? Wherever there's tower sites, make it accessible through hotspots or through 5G and other connections. It would be great. I agree, Ron. Hella bandwidth. Absolutely. 500 megahertz of it. 2 blocks of 250 or 5 at 100 megahertz a channel. Absolutely. Yeah, if you did 5 channels, 100 megahertz each, you could slice it and dice it for different applications. I'm saying if they end up doing it for home internet and business internet, maybe you want to keep it in those massive amounts of channels, But it doesn't matter how you do it. I think it can all work. But it just brings more competition, another option to people, for home or business internet. I'm really big on this, guys. I think there's a lot of potential there. But it's currently wrapped up and used in satellite TV. The FCC, I think, it would be on board with this. I'm not sure why they put it on the back burner. I think it's something they should and need to revisit. Because right now we've got C-band, we've got CBRS, right? Those are the new up-and-coming auctions. We've got millimeter wave, which is not going to propagate as well as this spectrum. So there is some shaking and moving that needs to happen over on the FCC side and with Dish and other providers that are operating satellite TV that will have to pivot to different applications. And of course, those other companies, should they decide that they don't want to do anything else, they could always sell this as a premium spectrum to other companies. I mean, maybe they want to work with the FCC and get it auctioned. I mean, that seems to be the way that the FCC likes to do things. Decom satellite TV, put it up for auction, boom, get it out to people that are going to use it. Generate billions of dollars. So that's something that we need to pay attention to in the future and see what happens. But it would change the game for Dish. It would change the game for consumers to bring new internet options, and we can get away from these coaxial, terrible performing home operators because they're just not good. All right, so that's your Dish news. Next piece, some Verizon commentary. I'm going to just drink a little bit of water because I'm about to go in on Verizon a little bit. Look, I have been accused of being a Verizon shill. I've been accused of being biased for Verizon. I've been accused of hating T-Mobile. I've been accused of hating on AT&T. I've been accused of many things. But I try to be as objective as possible. I try to call it like I see it. I try to do my best to be fair, call it like it is. My motto, a spade is a spade. If you truly believe that the SMT tries to call it like it is, hashtag spade is a spade. Here's my Verizon rant for today. The Verizon CTO, or Chief Technical Officer, was asked in some form of an interview or a Q&A or something at a recent event, and they were asked about their, Verizon's 5G rollout. Where is it at right now? How is the progress? How are things going, right? The CTO, Kyle Malady, was quoted as saying, "I am happy to report we are ahead of schedule." Where do I start with this statement? I just want to question with a follow-up to Kyle Malady, the CTO of Verizon. How in the world are you ahead of schedule in 5G with 36 markets with millimeter wave application? I have no idea how that could be considered ahead of schedule. I don't know if their expectations were low and they only thought they would have 30 markets and they're at 35 or 36. So they say, hey, we're ahead of schedule. I don't know. Do they have more markets than what they initially thought after a year? Because we're about a year in of Verizon 5G ultra wideband. They started all this in May of 2019. So we're like 1 year in, 12, 13 months. Are they ahead in terms of quality or network performance on their 5G ultra wideband? Do they feel that they're ahead in usage or adoption rates. I don't know what they're referring to. But whatever their interpretation of ahead of schedule is, I have to totally disagree. There is no way Verizon should consider themselves ahead of schedule in 5G when they are only in 35 or 36 different markets in the United States. And of course, they don't have the entire market covered. They've got segments of cities. They've got blocks with 5G, right? In the CLE, they've got it in some of the suburbs. They've got it in some of the west side regions of the city. They've got it in the urban downtown areas in blocks. I will say that the performance of Verizon's 5G Ultra Wideband is better than I thought it would be. Maybe that's what they mean when they say it's ahead of schedule. Maybe the performance is better than where they thought they would be, given the limitations of the nature of the spectrum. I don't know. I don't know what they mean. I would have had to have given, the CTO more of a follow-up, with additional questions to understand what do you mean by ahead of schedule. I'm going to assume that they thought they were going to be in like 25 or 30 cities, and, they ended first year with like 36, so they overachieved maybe. I don't know. But, yeah. I mean, it's really hard to convince the general public that you are ahead of schedule in a technology with only 35 or 36 markets with very limited application. Maybe they just mean in terms of the number of markets. Maybe they just had more than they thought they would. I don't know. So that is my rant, and that is my judgment on, that disclosure from Verizon and their CTO. An additional little note from Verizon. While this was not indicated explicitly, it looks like Verizon and Walmart are starting to materialize a deal. I have brought this up in the past. I think I covered this in March, possibly February, that Verizon and Walmart were going to team up, have some sort of a business relationship in which there would be enterprise 5G through Verizon to the store. There were rumors and speculation that Walmart was going to be receiving edge computing services and 5G connections through Verizon. A lot of market experts and pundits were saying there would be like in-store medical services. There would be, surveillance, loss prevention, prescription tracking, inventory monitoring, things of that nature. And I 100% saw this as a possibility. I knew it could definitely work. It actually made sense. Verizon, 5G, Walmart for its applications could totally work. The initial reports, rumors, and speculation stems from several months ago, and it was like, to me, a total match in heaven. I figured it made total sense. Well, it looks like things are starting to materialize. That deal is probably going to happen large scale, because even here in the CLE, in one of the local Walmarts, there is already 5G installed. Now, I mean, it's safe to say it's more of a trial there. They're testing it, right? It's more of a field test. But I can see this totally working for Verizon. And I could also see this working for Walmart. Because think about it. The usage of Verizon Wireless's 5G is really, really flexible. And I think that's what companies want. Basically, Verizon can build the best use case for each company of how they want to use or leverage Verizon's 5G. So, because Verizon is very malleable and they have this really nimble way of running 5G, right? They just have to install some nodes. They need to just make sure some connections are there. The operations within the companies are very specific. What they want, what they need, how it's going to be used in their application, things like that. I totally see this working. And I think there's going to be more of this. I think we're going to hear more about what Verizon is doing in health services and in the, healthcare industry and things of that nature. It could totally work. But like I said, this made sense a few months ago, and I think now it's just starting to materialize and solidify that Verizon and Walmart will have a deal in place, I would say by the end of the summer. No later than August. we should be hearing about a large-scale agreement between Verizon and Walmart. Large scale. Like, however many Walmarts you got in your city, expect them to get 5G soon. They'll use it for all types of reasons. They'll be using it in all types of applications. And I think more and more companies are going to be doing deals with Verizon as the millimeter wave and 5G ultra wideband becomes available in their markets. And then also the fixed wireless 5G that they're going to be deploying at the end of the year, as vendors like Qualcomm start to distribute the chips and the standardized hardware for the use cases. All right, so that's what I wanted to cover with you guys today in the podcast. I mean, I was going to do this in separate videos. It would have took me 3 days and 3 or 4 different videos. So instead of doing that, I just want to do a podcast, get all this information out to you guys, and then start off Monday on a fresh note. So I do have a video for you guys tomorrow. I will be doing a premiere. It is a vlog type video. It is a Speed with Sneed Verizon edition. We'll be looking at 5G ultra wideband, so it'll be a follow-up to all the things that have been going on there. Do tune into that. I will be releasing it at 2 p.m. tomorrow on Sunday. So, join us for the premiere. I'll be in there hanging out with you guys, and we'll go ahead and do that and watch that together. Anyways, I think we'll go ahead and we'll kind of close out the show. I want to thank everybody for being here today to watch in the live. Thank you for being a part of the SMT community. For those of you that were watching here in the live, hashtag 2LiveCrew. For those of you watching this on replay, hashtag ReplayCrew. And then all of my mods, the blue names out there with the, with the wrenches, the big blue wrenches out there, hashtag Mod Squad if you are a mod. Appreciate you guys very much for holding it down for me. And if you are a real one and you watch this from beginning to end, hashtag Ravioli Gang. You guys are the best. Appreciate you guys so much, the real ones, watching this all the way through. And we got more content coming. Keep it locked here to the SMT YouTube channel. I mean, we got news coming out of T-Mobile. We got news coming out of Verizon, news coming out of AT&T, all types of new services and new evolutions of technologies coming your way. We'll keep you guys updated. If you appreciate your daily updates from the SMT, you can actually help the channel out. What you could do is you can like this video, share this video, tell all your friends about the SMT YouTube channel, share this with them, and that helps the channel grow. And that's one thing you could do. You can offer donations. You could give super chats. Like Gene, thank you for the super chat, bro. Appreciate you. Anyways, no long drawn out outro, but I do want to thank you guys again for being here. Make sure you hit subscribe if this is your first time here. Activate that bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. Join the SMT Patreon page if you want to get involved in more of an extended way of being a part of the community. There's links in the description box for that. And that's pretty much it, guys. I want to thank you all for being here, for watching this on the live, and for those watching this on the replay. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Be careful. Stay healthy. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.